So there's been a lot of questions about how I got my sparkling red shoes to get such a wonderful glittery finish on them. Well, it's not difficult, and today I'm going to show you how. Initially, I was going to rhinestone all of the lattice work, but I decided to go ahead and do the very front portion of the lattice work in the glitter. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how that's done, since there were so many questions about it. One of the things that I think is pretty paramount is to go ahead and get all of your supplies set out first, because your hands are going to get very, very messy in just a minute. So I'll go ahead and show you what I have set up here. And I have, if you can see that, I have the glitter and just Mod Podge. It's super cheap, super simple. And first of all, I'll go ahead and say now, this is not like my technique. I didn't come up with this. I found it on YouTube. I doubt they came up with it. This is something, in all honesty, this is probably how like the original like ruby slippers were made. Like, this is not new. But I did get questions about how I did it, so I figured I would share it with you. And so basically today we're going to be using Mod Podge and just some high, super large red craft glitter. Both supplies you can get from any craft store. In this case, ordinarily I would recommend using a paintbrush, a disposable paintbrush, because you are not going to want to try and wash these off. In my case, I don't have a paintbrush, so in my case I'm actually going to be using a makeup brush instead, because, well, I didn't have the ability to go and buy a paintbrush, so we're going to use what we have, and what I have is a little bit of a makeup sponge, which I found does indeed work. So use what you have, ladies and gents. You'll also want to have on hand some sort of either paper towel or cloth or something to wipe your hands off, because as I said, you will get very messy. I also recommend having a little cup of water, because the glue, Mod Podge, is water soluble, so that will help get that glue off your hands as we go. So I'm going to set us back down here so you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully I don't drop you. And so we're going to start by opening up the Mod Podge. That has got a nice little skin to it and is going to get super gross. You can already tell, like, my hands are going to get super, super messy during this process, and that's okay. That's part of the fun of this particular exercise, is the ability to get super messy. I'm only going to show you doing one shoe. So what you're going to want to do is get a nice amount of the glue on there, because that's what's going to help this stick. You want to get the glue all over the area in a pretty even coating. You want the glue to coat evenly the area that you want the glitter to stick to. So anywhere you want that glitter, that's where you want the glue. That seems pretty self-explanatory, but we'll say it anyway. So we want the glue to go anywhere that we want that glitter, and it's not going to look great right now. Right now it's just going to look a little weird, but we just want to create a nice, fairly even coat of that glitter. So in order to do that, we need to create a nice, fairly even coat of the glue. And one thing I will mention, since this is a three-dimensional surface, you want to make sure that in order for the glitter to bind, on all of the sides of the surface, you need the glue to be there. So, for example, I don't know if this really makes sense, but in order for the glitter to be on the point of that angle, the glue needs to be there as well. So just kind of take that into account when you're putting the glue on these surfaces. If the glue is not there, the glitter won't stick. All right, so we'll get another nice little amount of glue. And Mod Podge, I enjoy working with Mod Podge because, like I said, it is a water-soluble glue. Unlike E6000, which is another very popular crafting glue among burlesque performers, it is a Mod Podge is a non-toxic glue, which means that you can use it inside, although of course we are outside today because we're going to be using a large quantity of glitter. That is another element. I do not recommend that you do this inside. Do this project inside at your own risk. You are using a large quantity of glitter inside, and maybe that's your thing. Maybe you want a large quantity of glitter all over your floors. Personally, I'm not a big fan. So I do this project outside, and that's okay. All right. So we are almost done with this portion, and then we'll be moving on to the next portion, which is actually applying the glitter. Now, applying the glitter is not difficult. That's where people think that this gets tricky, and it doesn't. The genius of this method, I would say, is in actually applying the glitter, because you actually end up using a lot less glitter than you would think, and it's a lot easier cleanup than you would think, or at least I thought initially anyway. So let's call it that. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to dip my hands in the water. I'm going to grab my towel to just try and get the excess glue off of there. Now I still have my shoe, and as you can see, it's got a fairly even coating of the glue on there. And now I'm going to try and see what I'm doing next. I've got my shoe box. This is just the box that the shoes came in. Now, what I'm going to do, let's see if I can prop you up there. I'm just going to move this shoebox so it's more in the frame. I'm going to take my shoe, I just set it in the box there. I'm just opening up the glitter. And now what we're going to do is we are literally just going to pour the glitter free fall onto the shoes. Now the excess glitter is going directly in the box. It's not going on the floor. It's not going outside. So we can feel comfortable putting as much glitter on the shoe as we want. We can put the whole vial on there. And remember what I said about the three-dimensional surface of that shoe. You can already see it's getting a really nice shine on the front of that shoe. But it's got a three-dimensional surface, so you can kind of get at it from different angles and get the maximum amount of glitter coverage possible. Now, these are fairly easy to work with because the glitter that we're applying is the same color as the base of the shoe, so we won't really need to do much touch-up. But let's say that wasn't the case. Let's say, you know, this was a black base or a tan base, and we were applying that same red glitter. You can go back and you can do little touch-ups with the same makeup sponge or with the brush that you had, and just apply Mod Podge directly to it, and a little bit more glitter, and get that same lasting effect. And let's see, so we've tapped off that excess glitter, and we are actually ready to go. That's pretty much it. Now you say, how does the glitter stay on forever? Like, is this a lasting process? Well, the next step with the shoes is going to be a spray lacquer. Let me grab that. I'm going to move out of frame for just a moment. I recommend the Krylon Crystal Clear Acrylic Lacquer. It's going to be a spray lacquer, and it just goes right over the shoes. I would recommend personally, what I plan to do with these is to tape off. Just get either clear tape, masking tape, painter's tape, and tape off the zipper so that the acrylic lacquer does not get into the zipper and cause it to gum up. But beyond that, I'll probably put like some sort of paper into the shoe itself. But beyond that, we have everything that we need to go ahead and put a couple of coats of clear lacquer on top of these so that they will last for years that way. If you do at least 2 coats, I would say, of clear lacquer on those. And then the beauty, so we now have a box full of glitter that is ready to be transported directly back into your original vial. So you have hardly any waste at all, and that's awesome because that means that you get the very most for your money, and that's really what it's all about, isn't it? So yeah, that's my whole process. That's all it is. Very simple, very easy, and ultimately really economical. So hope you enjoy. Try it out. Hope to see a lot more glittery shoes in the future. See you later.